Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 4 of Killing Eve. Oh my god, this series is over. And I remember hearing about the first season getting tons of attention, so I went back and watched it, and then I've watched the next three, including this final season, fourth season, live, as it's been coming out. And that first season is something special. And this is from creator Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And now we're coming up to the close of this series, and I feel like it has a lot of the same issues that I have with like The Handmaid's Tale, which has such an amazing concept, starts off so strong, and there's just spinning wheels until it finds its ending. And this series, finally gets to this last season. The third season I thought was definitely a step down, and I kind of feel like this one's really a step down, because it just, this will they, won't they, between Eve and Villanelle, it's just like, kiss already, get together already. And it's just so, has gotten so frustrating at this point, and who's going to turn on who, and there's even multiple twists and turns and turning ons in this season itself of 8 episodes, and it just kept pushing it to the point where, like, honestly, this could have been wrapped up in like a special movie to like cut down on the amount of just over and over and over again that we keep seeing in this series. And, this last episode, I'm not going to spoil it, but like some of the things are, you're like relieved it's like finally. But I'll get to how it wraps up in a second. But like I mentioned, it's a bunch of spinning wheels, and you have Villanelle in this season. Jodie Comer is still amazing. She finds religion, and there's like a first couple episode arc of her coming to religion, seeing like a Jesus, like her version of Jesus. She's dressed up as Jesus, and then that arc ends so like quickly within like 2 episodes, and like what she winds up doing to Jesus' version of herself, and then moves on to like the same old song and dance. Sandra is great, but what's Eve doing here? She has this developing relationship with Helene, played by Camille Cottin, who I think is a good addition to this series, and they have an interesting dynamic, but it just feels like the same kind of dynamic that she has with Villanelle, and it's just like, okay, so now we're getting distracted with her. And then once she's out of the way, I'm like, well, we finally get these two, like, connected. And it just feels like it keeps being drawn out. Fiona Shaw goes full-blown villain in this season, and that's who we're really chasing. There is a lot of stakes in this season. A lot of people bite the dust, I'm just going to say. And you have Kim Bodnia, who plays Constantin, who has been such a fun, chaotic character throughout this whole series. And he makes this connection with a new person, Pam Anjana Vasan, and she winds up being built up of like, oh, is she like a new Villanelle who's going to get in the way? And that storyline between both of them gets built up and then goes places. Don't know if it felt fully satisfying where it wound up ending, and you're just kind of like, okay, that was a choice. But I feel like by the end, you get to, it's building up to something that you might be very excited about, and then it kind of ends. And you're just like, I'm still processing my feelings about it, but it was a bold choice, but I don't know if it was the right choice. And in the end, you're just like, you expect, like, this is, I never went into this series expecting this to have, like, a happy ending, but I felt like it would have had a more concrete ending, where this season feels like it leaves itself open for more, and you're just, like, baiting to, like, revival of Killing Eve, and it's just like, really? After all that, like, promising, like, this is the end, and even says, the end, at the end of the last episode, and you're just like, but is it? So, I feel like this season was a lot of bait and switches, a lot of pulling you along, but I have to say, still entertaining. Just watching these characters interact with each other and these actors doing their thing is still very entertaining. I just don't know if you'll be overall satisfied with how this series ends. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I'm convinced that this is going to come back at some point. But those are my thoughts on Season 4 of Killing Eve. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.